Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? It's time for another artifact cast. Yes. This is just a video I found somewhere. Somebody ripped this from the PAX stream. Mist of Awareness. Modify allies with +1 attack before the action phase. Very, very important keyword here. Modify. Right. So this means that you always keep it. Right, you have it for the rest of the game. Very powerful in that regard. Although +1 attack isn't really that much, getting to play it early makes a big difference. And this is the best hero for it too. Right, so putting down that improvement in the top lane, making sure that Rix gets it every single round. Oh man, starting right away too. Oh man. That's just sick. Because Rix, keep in mind, he always comes back. He always comes back. Anyway, there we go. Rix immediately buffed up, giving him some additional power. He's just looking nice and strong. Neither player got really all that much they can do in the very early turns here. And well, we're going into the shop. Nobody really got any money yet. It seems that we're just going to go ahead and chill a little while. We've got a hero deployment coming out. It's going to be Debbie. See where we go. With that one, there are some options available here. I think, honestly, the bottom lane seems like the best choice at this juncture. You want to just make sure you have a hero in that lane, and that lane is currently looking a little bit threatened. You could also say maybe the top lane is a good idea, right? But you do actually have a little bit more you can do there. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, bottom lane, it seems like that's going to be the choice. Modifiers persist death? Yes. If a card says modify, it always keeps it, right? It will keep it even if it dies. It's a permanent buff. So that's very powerful in that regard. Anyway, 2 more cards are being drawn here. Sadly, they're all a little bit expensive. Savage Wolf could be played in this lane. I personally don't really think that's a great choice. Give allied heroes +4 cleave this round. Oh, that is scary. Yeah, that big fat ogre, Keith the Bold, Keith the Shitty, Keith the Terrible, Keith the holy crap, this card is bad, but also Keith the I'm kind of big and I'm going to kind of kill you right now. And turns out that that's actually pretty strong. So the cleave, of course, meaning it now does 4 damage to the allied neighbors of the unit in front of you, right? Pretty powerful. It's going to result in both heroes going down. And I don't know if there's much that can really be done about it. I don't really see it. So at this stage, you might just have to accept the loss. And that's a real shame, especially since one of those heroes was just played. Well, we're going into the mid lane here. This, I think, you can be happy with as the Radiant side, right? Cunning Plan, though, nice. Swaps the unit, gets a little bit of damage in, keeps that Zeus alive, and now the Phantom Assassin is just kind of pounding into the tower, which is definitely not bad, but it's also not a huge problem. And now we're going back into this top lane. Of course, Rix now sitting at 5 attack. Ideally, you want to keep Rix alive for as long as possible, but that's alright. You can just go ahead and throw down a Savage Wolf. Sadly, that attack is going to be wasted, seeing as it goes into the Luna. Oh, a swap? Now this was a questionable decision. Well, Rix is going to continue staying in this lane. I suppose you could argue that this is fine because Rix is going to be immediately deployed anyway, right? But at the same time, it didn't really actually fix anything. It just made it so you killed the wolf instead of Rix. Probably the worst target. Yes, the wolf is permanent, but you also get 5 gold for killing Rix. Like, that's always the thing you need to keep in mind. Killing Rix is actually pretty good for you, right? So, anyway. Rix is going to be forced to stay in this lane. Now, that is still an advantage. But we've got Chen in the bottom. Chen now going up against Keith the Bold, which, of course, is Keith a little bit of a problem. We've got the Reptile Colonel. What is it called? Forgot the name of it. Anyway, Solomon's Favor. That's going to be a nice way to buff up a tower somewhere. I'm not sure if you want to use it right now. But then again, you don't have many other choices in this lane. right? So this might be a good opportunity to just make sure that whatever lane is next actually has some better options. And that's going to be exactly the plan. The Revtol Convoy, there we go, that's what it's called. The Revtol Convoy will be kept in hand for the time being. It doesn't really have any attack at this stage. And actually, we're going to equip Chen with a sword, which now makes it so that Chen kills Keith. But with the armor, that's going to be preventing that as well. Here is where having initiative is super important. Coup de grace is available. Alternatively, Steam Cannon can be placed. Dealing 4 piercing damage to a unit in any lane is, of course, a very, very big advantage. Although, of course, just killing this bristleback is probably not a bad idea either. And it seems that's going to be the play. Get rid of bristleback. Nice. Foresight coming out, drawing some cards, doing a little bit of damage. And it seems then that's going to be a pass. I think that's all very fair. Those seem all very solid. And now we're going back into the top lane. This Rix is still looking pretty damn good. And I think at this stage you definitely want to throw down the Revtol Convoy. So, first of all, it gets modified every turn by having, the Abaddon buff going on. Gets 1 additional attack. And on top of that, of course, right now it hits for free, which is nice. And also it just got 20 HP. And it is best played in the third lane. Right? It's a pretty solid card just because it got a lot of life. But you want to play it in the third lane if possible. You don't really want to play it in the first lane. Second lane maybe, but third lane is really where you want to put it. Anyway, Stonehold Plate, Poaching Knife or Healing Salve. Sadly, Poaching Knife not quite available. It's a little bit too expensive. A Stonehold Plate might be a nice option though. It could potentially help one of your heroes survive an attack, and it's also something that I feel like fits nicely on Rix. Again, Rix is the hero where you want to continuously be putting all of these effects that just snowball because he just keeps getting more and more powerful over time. Since he's always coming back instantly. Anyway, Stonehold Plate, of course, gives a hero +1 armor and then +1 armor every single turn. Isn't that sick? Armor, very powerful, of course, a very strong mechanic, something you want to respect. It seems that we are placing Lycan, although it is mildly bugging out. Lycan going into the bottom lane right here. Good call, I like it. You know, makes it so that even if the Chen gets killed, you still have some options here. Also Debbie. So placing 2 heroes bottom, that's a little bit risky. That's a little bit all in. Right, if you lose the Phantom Assassin in the mid, that could potentially be a problem. But for the time being, this seems fine. Chen immediately sniped out, of course, Conflagration, dealing 2 damage to everything in this lane. Making it a bit tricky for him to be doing much here. And yeah, Keith the Bold still looking strong. I think at this stage, you just want to, no accident, Keith the Bold. Get rid of that guy. Or maybe not. Maybe we're keeping him around. Traveler's Cloak coming out, and that will keep him alive. And of course allows potentially other stuff to be cast as well. No, going to be a coup de grace. Losing 1 more card for it. So I don't like that play very much. I feel like that right there could have been achieved by just using no accident on Keith the Bold. There wasn't really much that could have been done about it. No accident, of course. Just dealing a little bit of damage, but Keith only had 1 HP. That would have been plenty to kill him. And that would have, prevented all of this other nonsense. And made you not use your coup de grace. But at the same time, sometimes you want to have a cheaper spell just so you can wait for an opportunity where you can weave that in and get a little bit more value. Phantom Assassin going to be sniped out in the mid. Of course, there's nothing really that can be done in response, seeing as that was the only hero there. And we're going into lane 3. So this is where Rix is standing. I think it's a shame that Rix didn't get the Stonehold Plate. I do really think Rix is a great hero for all of this Stonehold equipment because it just snowballs. But, oh well. The Caravan is looking pretty powerful though, sitting at 5 attacks. Rix also 7. Tower Barrage gonna go ahead and snipe out Rix really quick, and with that there is no real response possible. Caravan is still gonna do a little bit of damage though, so that's not too bad. Face Boots coming out. It's going to buff up our Earthshaker with a little bit of HP. And then we are going into the shopping phase. 8 gold available. Let's see what we can do with that. Town Porter Scroll, of course, a quite powerful option. And it seems that's going to be picked up right away. So, Rick's immediately coming back. Of course, you want to jam that guy into a lane. Ideally, probably the top, honestly. Like, just put him back into the top lane. He's going to be standing strong there. And he will be able to easily take down that Earthshaker. Oh, going mid. Okay. Now, this I find a little bit odd. Not only is Riggs not going to receive the Curse of Awareness buff in the mid. Admittedly, it's not that important anymore because he's actually gotten a lot of buffs already anyway. But there isn't actually that much that can be done there. Oh, Thunderhide pack coming out though. Is there Salamane's favor on that? I'm not sure. I think the mid lane also only has 7 mana, so no Thunderhide pack can be played there. Town Portal Scroll is available. That would of course just make the Lycan go back into the fountain, and you don't really have any other response. And this is the problem, right? Ideally, right here, you have a coup de grace to get rid of that Bristleback. That's a full HP Bristleback. That guy doesn't go down very easily. That takes a long time to kill. So you just coup de grace the Bristleback out of the way really quick. Awesome. Done. Taken care of. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But that's not what's available here, right? Instead, no accident is still on hand, which would have been enough to kill Keith the Bold earlier. All right. Well, lane 2, it's going to be Rick's. Yes, actually, Salamane's favor is cast on this lane. So we can summon a Thunderhide pack. So that was a lucky draw. That definitely worked out well. And there is the big old Thunderhide pack. Not only is it a 14/14 massive stats, just absolutely incredible, but it also got 6 siege, meaning it will deal 6 damage to the tower, no matter what. Why am I calling the first lane bottom lane and the last lane top lane? I don't know. I just kind of thought that would be a nice way to go about it. I mean, it's the Dota card game. I don't like that they are called like lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3. I mean, everybody agrees that the mid lane is the mid lane, right? But in my head, if I were to order the lanes in Dota according to lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3, I would order bottom lane as lane 1. For no particular reason. That's just how I would order it, right? And I would order the top lane, from the Radiant's point of view, as lane 3. For no particular reason. That's just how I would order it. So that's just kind of how I've been calling it. It's just kind of how I want to do it. Anyway, why not left to right? Well, that's because you don't call it that in Dota. Like, I don't call it the left lane. I don't call it the right lane. It's bottom or top. I don't know. It just seems a little bit more flavorful to me, and I kind of like that. Anyway, look at that fucking caravan, though. This is why I think that caravan is actually, like, hella juicy. I mean, it's just pretty fucking big, you know? It's got 20 HP. 20 HP is a lot of HP. I don't think there's a single hero that's got 20 HP. Admittedly, this thing also costs 5 mana, so that's kind of something to keep in mind. I have it the other way around, since top is on the left side of the minimap. Yeah, I mean, like, if that's how you see it, then that's how you see it, right? But I just how I see it, and there's nothing really here that's like in any way objective, but I just think it's a little bit more interesting. Tide only has 18 HP, doesn't actually have 20. So, yeah, no, that caravan is pretty beefy. It is pretty damn beefy. Wrist Tool Emblem. Equipped hero has +4 health and -2 armor. That unit, the unit blocking equipped hero has -2 armor. So it's a double edge, right? Bit tricky to make use of, but hey. Seems we're spending a lot of our gold here. And then big deployment phase. So that's 3 heroes coming out. Of course, Rick's always coming back. This is also why I think, by the way, the Stonehold stuff is really good on Rix. Right? Because the Stonehold stuff keeps buffing at the end of every turn. But only if your hero's actually in a lane. So since Rix is always in a lane, he always gets the buff. He actually can get the buff like twice as quickly as other heroes. That doesn't mean he always gets it twice as quickly, but he can. And that's pretty damn good. Anyway, seems that the mid lane is going to be left to the power of the Thunderhide pack. Now, while the Thunderhide pack is pretty strong, keep in mind it does not allow you to cast any spells. So mid lane currently actually kind of a little bit alone. 3 heroes in the bottom. Hand of God, of course, gonna be a powerful tool to enable this bottom lane. Might actually be a good idea to just throw that out. Like just throw out the Hand of God. Make sure you get a lot of pressure done here. You gotta deal with that Bristleback mostly. I mean, Bristleback is one of those heroes that is just absolutely terrifying, and he's just big, you know? He's just absolutely big. Also, always keep in mind Bristleback's ability. Whenever Bristleback kills an enemy hero, he actually gains +2 armor. So, he becomes more and more powerful the longer these games go. We're gonna use Chen's ability right here to steal one of these creeps. And then, yep, there we go. That's going to modify him big time. Look at that guy. Now he's got 4 armor, 4 additional HP. He's got some siege, additional attacking. That is a big, big boy. Usually that's an ability that you want to use on a lane that already has a lot of other heroes. You know, you want to make sure that you buff as many heroes as possible because it is a modify effect. But turns out that wasn't really available right there. Anyway, we're gonna also buff up this lane. Oh my god. Look at that. This tower is actually looking pretty damn dead. And there is no response possible. There just is not. There are no heroes in this lane. So there are no spells that can be cast. Time of Triumph, of course, modifies allied heroes with +4 attack, +4 health, +4 armor, and +4 siege. And +4 cleave. Pretty scary stuff. And with that, the first tower of the game falls. Top lane, Curse of Awareness is going to be coming out. Buffing up all of this stuff really quick, which is always nice. And, well, there's not really much of a response coming out from the Dire, seeing as there are no heroes. But you got to keep in mind, you want to make sure that you actually are threatening lethal. Right? In a situation like this, you want to make sure you can actually kill this tower. And this is where I feel like you gotta kind of like get started with this stuff. You want to really get going. Iron Fork Goldmine might also be not a terrible idea. This Payday card so far hasn't really done anything. It's been in the hand from the very beginning, which is a bit unfortunate. Why would you do that? What? Come on, dude. Okay, that's just terrible. So Iron Fork Goldmine gives you +3 gold after the combat phase of that lane, right? By putting it into the first lane, you're waiting until the next turn to get the gold. But if you place it in this lane, you will get the gold right away. Now, that's just terrible. Anyway, Payday gonna be used right here. That's 7 additional gold. Not a ton, but it's something. And then the Until the Grunt can be played. It's just gonna push a little bit more damage, but not all too much. This was actually a little bit unfortunate in terms of the attack deployment here. Seeing as the caravan is actually swinging into the creep as well. So there's a lot of damage being wasted. 15 gold available. Town Portal Scroll, Poaching Knife, or Ristool Emblem. Same as before, of course. Town Portal Scroll wasn't really used last turn. So that's kind of a problem. Poaching Knife might be something worth considering, but I don't know. It will do a little bit at least, right? And there is the Apotheosis Blade. Now the Apotheosis Blade is a big and scary item, right? It will definitely do a lot of scary things whenever it is played. It is very expensive though, and that's one of the big problems here. Deployment phase is over, and it seems we've got another big old bristleback fighting in the top. I think he also gets +4 Retaliate from Time of Triumph. Is that right? Not 100% on that. Either way, a bristleback, look at this guy. Modify a unit with -2 armor. Yeah, that Shen is now looking a little bit unhealthy. It's going to be taking a lot of damage. -2 armor works exactly like you would expect it to, right? Every point of armor reduces all damage you take, but every point of minus armor increases it. So with -2 armor, this Chen is actually taking 4 damage from a creep. That's quite a bit. So, it seems that Bristleback does have Retaliate, right? As we can see, Lycan will actually take 16 damage, 12 damage from the Bristleback, and then 4 more from the Retaliate. So that's pretty solid. And there are a bunch of items available in the Diacide's hand. New orders, okay? Seems that Bristleback is actually going to be attacking into Debbie instead. Now, this is very clever. So, Debbie, of course, was going to die. Not anymore, but was going to die. Then the Cleave hits the Lycan for 4. And then the Lycan hits the Bristleback, taking 4 more Retaliate damage, still dying. Right? So very smart combat choice right there. Will make it so that this Bristleback gets a little bit more value and still gets the exact same kill. At the same time, this is where you have to consider maybe putting one of your damage items. If there is something available, or maybe using another Vicious Nasal Goo. Because I think killing Debbie at this stage is definitely not a bad idea. You want to make sure that you clear out as many of these heroes as possible so this lane doesn't continue snowballing out of control. There's a lot of damage coming in. And you gotta also keep in mind that Debbie actually hits really hard if it comes to these towers. But seems we're just surrendering this lane for the time being. Seems we believe that we can keep the other lanes alive. Zeus coming out. It's gonna do 4 damage here, 4 damage there, and then another 4 damage on all of these nerds. So Phantom Assassin taken out immediately. This, yeah, that is a lot of power crashing into the tower. Taking 29 damage right there. Rick's also just straight up going down with that. There's no response. The Caravan does actually do enough damage to kill the Slain, or like kill this Luna on its own. So that's pretty solid, but yeah. Oh, Echo Slap coming out? That's questionable. Alright, just using the Echo. I mean, I'm not sure if the Luna is going to be kept alive. Alright, there we go. Ventriloquy makes it so that that creep is going to be taking the damage instead. And with that, we go back into the shopping phase. So Horn of the Alpha, Poaching Knife, or the Healing Salve. Bunch of useful things, but nothing all too crazy. And Rix is coming back, of course. And like, this is why I want to buff that guy. Like, I feel like if you bring him back every turn, don't just make him food. Make him big. You know, turn him into a big boy. He starts out as a small boy, but you actually, you know, really had a good opportunity. Like, he's got 9 and 7 stats now, just by virtue of being in the Curse of Avernus lane. Like, maybe give him some additional items. Like, with the Stonehold play, this guy would have had, like, 17 fucking armor by now, right? Like, he would just be so fucking big. Anyway. Back into the top lane. Oh, wow, that got cleared out quick. Well, there's nothing that can be done about that. This is where I think the Radiant side might be able to just close out the game. Or not. Blade of the Vigil, that's +2 attack, but +2 attack isn't actually enough. And you can only play one of them. Keep in mind you can only have one item of each type equipped. So you can't use both blades on this bristleback. That's actually not enough damage up here. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough damage here to kill this. So that's a little bit annoying if you are the Dire. That's for sure. Admittedly, next turn is pretty much guaranteed. Yep, there's the +2 attack. And it's just gonna go ahead and do the 14. We're going into lane 2. No heroes here. No response possible. At the same time, it's not really that big of a deal, seeing as your tower is just tanking it. But the Blink Dagger actually gonna be moving a hero over. Yep. Bringing this Earthshaker into the top lane. A very powerful effect, of course. And with that, mid tower is looking closer and closer to death. Top. Rix is the only one that's actually currently tanking anything right here. On the Thunder Height pack, that might be able to take some hits as well. Honestly, at this stage, you just gotta throw it out. Yep, there it is. It's just a big creature, right? It's just something that's actually gonna be able to fight. Sometimes that's all you need. Eclipse coming out. Pretty much ideal scenario for Eclipse. And yep, it's just gonna snipe out both of them. And with that, this top lane is looking pretty bad as well. Blade of the Vigil. On top of that, just kind of buffing up this Luna a little bit. Traveler's Cloak. Yeah, I mean, what do you have available? The Wingfall Hammer coming out. So there's going to be quite a few heroes deployed this turn. Oh, wow. That is a big deployment phase. Everybody buying back, I see. All right. The big buybacks coming out. Phantom Assassin and Debbie, the two black choices. And then, of course, Lycan, Chen, and Rix, the three green ones. I think you really have to be very careful with your black choices, right? Mostly just because those are the heroes that actually have spells currently, right? Ideally, I feel like you want to place them in the early lanes, right? Like, you need to put at least one black hero in the first lane. And you need to put at least one black hero into the second lane, just so you can make sure that you actually get to use their abilities. Oh no. Okay, so that's 3 heroes in the last lane at this stage. You have 2 no accidents in your hand. Okay, Phantom Assassin going into the first lane, Rix going into the second lane. At least 1 black hero went into the first lane. I'm fine with that. That's really what I think is important here. So you can make sure that you get to use these nukes across the map. The problem is that this Bristleback right now will actually be able to just finish this game as long as he gets to attack. And this, by the way, is where it goes back, right? I do want to point out that Artifact has a lot of like decisions in it that do really matter, right? All card games come with inherent RNG. And Artifact has a lot of additional RNG, apart from just drawing cards. But it also has a lot of decisions you're making every single game. And one of those decisions was using the coup de grace early on instead of the no accident. The no accident has not been used the entire game since then. And the coup de grace, I saw many points where it would not only have like helped you in various ways, but right now it would literally save you from dying. Right? You get to use the coup de grace on this Bristleback and you stay alive. You don't lose the game right now. But it doesn't seem like there's really anything the Radiant side can do against this Bristleback. The Vicious Nasal Goo being used on the Bristleback just for some BM here. And then even the Bristleback getting healed up. So that's a pretty big Bristleback. Give him those face boots. TP home the Phantom Assassin. Yeah, it is over. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, the Dire side takes it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to leave a rating on the video. This is really fun, man. I love this. I could do this all day. I just want to sit here and watch Artifact videos, man. This is so fun. Alright, I'll see you guys.